My guest is Christopher Hedges. His book, I Don't Believe in Atheists, on bookstands now here.
The creation of the surveillance state over the last few decades is something probably unseen in human history. Both parties service this surveillance state, which we saw during the Democratic and the Republican conventions. They have created a kind of paramilitary force, goons who were brought in from the outside. When the mafia wanted to hit, they never hired a local guy. They brought somebody down from like Chicago or another city to carry it out.
I think what ultimately, if I'm not misunderstanding you, is that we haven't even seen its real use yet.
No.
Because what that surveillance state means, the fact that it's in place, is a message to people.
And the fact that the electronic media is completely corporatized. I mean, do we know the name of the person who runs ExxonMobil? Do we know the name of, the head of Raytheon? I mean, this is where real power is.
That's right.
And yet it's anonymous power, and they want it to be anonymous. Believe me, if they wanted us to know their names, we'd all know their names. That wedding of sort of anonymous or secret power, coupled with the perniciousness of the corporate and the surveillance state, means that should the American public become restive, which I think it probably will at a certain point. I mean, they're being pushed beyond the breaking point. And what I worry is that there will be reactions, but they'll be localized. One, they have the capacity to shut them down very quickly. Then you have a corporate media characterizing these groups as loonies, as extremists.
That's right. And the marketing side of that is niche marketing. The ability for people to cherry pick their information on a day-to-day basis to fit their ideology,
right,
thinking that's freedom,
right,
is actually fragmenting. It's
right,
dividing
right,
and conquering
right,
on a house-to-house level.
Right, that's right. And that is why the death of newspapers is so frightening. I mean, I have strong critiques of the way print journalism has handled itself. Nevertheless, there's a democratic quality to a city newspaper.
Sure.
It brings you news you don't ask for.
Right.
And the power of the anti-war movement in the 1960s was that there was a national kind of consciousness. We knew what was happening in San Francisco. We knew what was happening in New York. I was a kid, but we knew what was going on. Now we have a media that is completely controlled by corporate entities, and I think pretty much stripped of any kind of journalistic integrity, so that you can keep these groups desperate, broken, fragmented, and which, of course, makes them far easier to control and to crush.